Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're uncovering the ultimate secret to standing strong, literally no matter what kind of intense storms life decides to throw at you. We're diving into some incredible source material that teaches us how to build a faith that absolutely nothing can knock down. If you've ever wondered how some people manage to stay so brave and strong, even when everything around them is going totally wrong, well, you are in the exact right place. Let's get into it. Okay, picture this. You're walking through a park right after a massive, crazy thunderstorm, and you see this gigantic tree, one that must be, 100 years old, completely ripped out of the ground, just lying there on its side. Have you ever wondered how that actually happens? It's kind of crazy how something so huge, something that looks so unbreakable above the ground, can just completely topple over when the wind blows hard enough. Well, today we're going to find out exactly why that happens in nature, and more importantly, how it relates directly to you and your own life. All right, let's jump right into section 1, the storms of life. When the wind blows hard. Now, just like trees face blasting winds and pouring rain, you're gonna face tough times. Our source material points out that storms of opposition and persecution will eventually come to test us. Now, for you, a storm might not be literal lightning and thunder. A storm in your life might look like some really intense peer pressure at school. It might be a time when someone makes fun of you just for doing the right thing, or maybe a really big test of your character that challenges everything you stand for. The reality is, we're all going to face these spiritual storms. It's definitely not a matter of if the wind will blow, but when. Moving on to section 2, discovering the hidden taproot. What keeps you anchored? So what exactly is a taproot? Well, it's a single, super thick root that grows straight down, deep into the soil. It basically acts like a giant anchor, holding the plant down against extreme forces. Now let's bring that back to us. The text explains that this deep taproot is formed in us when Christ takes full possession of the soul. Because think about it, in order to be firmly anchored, there has to be something totally solid to hold on to. If your heart and mind are locked onto Jesus like a giant anchor buried deep in the ground, you've got yourself a taproot. This brilliantly illustrates the difference between how things look and how they really are. I mean, a person with shallow roots might look super strong on the outside. They might talk a big game, say all the right things at church, and look like they've totally got it all together. But because their roots spread out right at the surface instead of going deep, what happens? A blast of wind comes and boom, they're uprooted. Just talking strong isn't enough. Compare that to a deep taproot. Without a deep faith in Jesus, a sudden storm is going to blow you right over. But with it, you become completely unmovable, no matter how hard the wind howls. Which brings us to section 3, the power of why, making faith your own. Think about borrowing your older brother's jacket. It might keep you a little warm, but it doesn't really fit you, right? It's just not yours. That's what we call borrowed faith. Our source tells us you can't just borrow your parents' beliefs forever. A faith that's simply handed down won't survive a really terrible test. You've got to ask questions. You need to invest in your faith by learning the real reasons why you are on the Lord's side. You really want to own your faith, so it fits you perfectly, and so you don't just drift away like a shallow root caught in a fast river current. Because here's the thing, if you've only got a theory, meaning you just know some facts in your head, but you can't really explain them and haven't let them sink deep into your heart, the smallest push from the world is going to wash you away. A sudden temptation will show up, maybe a chance to lie to get out of trouble, or a push to join in making fun of a classmate. If your faith is shallow, you'll just drift right along with the crowd simply because you don't have that heavy anchor holding you in place. So the crucial point here is that you must actively prepare yourself. Step 1, you have to prepare your mind in advance to stand every test. Step 2, you must know exactly why you believe. And step 3, let the truth keep watch in your heart. Imagine the truth is like a tough security guard standing right at the door of your heart, ready to sound a really loud alarm the second danger approaches, summoning you to action. You aren't just sitting around waiting to see what happens, you are ready. Okay, section 4, facing the shadows, the invisible battles. The source uses a kind of intense historical phrase here. It warns that the powers of darkness will open their batteries upon us. Now, in the old days, a battery actually meant a row of heavy cannons. So this basically means these tricky spiritual foes are loading up their cannons and preparing to blast you with tests. These invisible battles are happening right now. They want to see if they can knock over your tree. They are really hoping you don't have a taproot. So who do these dark powers usually defeat? Who becomes an easy-ready victim? Well, our source spells it out super clearly. It's those who are indifferent, meaning they just don't care. It's those who are careless with their choices. It's people who are totally focused on earthly treasures, like having the absolute coolest stuff or being the most popular, instead of focusing on what really actually matters. If you aren't paying attention and you haven't invested time in learning about God, you basically become a very easy target for these attacks.
But wait, here is the absolutely amazing, victorious news. With a true knowledge of Jesus as your deep anchor, you become incredibly strong. The source tells us that with this truth in your heart, just one person can chase 1,000 foes, and just two of you can put 10,000 of these dark powers to flight. 10,000! That is literally the massive power of having a taproot. You don't ever have to be afraid of the storm or the shadows, as the anchor you have in Jesus is infinitely stronger than any enemy out there.
Finally, we reach Section 5, Unmovable Faith, Standing Strong. This whole concept is perfectly anchored in this powerful verse from 1 Corinthians. Be steadfast, unmovable. That means that when you know why you believe, when you've actually taken the time to ask questions, read, and let Jesus be that thick taproot going deep into your soul, no storm of opposition can ever move you. You won't snap in half, you won't be uprooted, you will stand tall and strong, constantly doing good work for the Lord, totally safe in the middle of the storm. So, I'm going to leave you with this one big question to chew on. What kind of roots are you growing today? Are your roots shallow and just borrowed from someone else, basically waiting for a strong wind to blow you over? Or are you digging down deep, asking the hard questions and discovering the amazing truth of Jesus for yourself? Grow that taproot, stand firm, and you can weather absolutely any storm life sends your way.